Sullivan County Commission meeting is now in session. Will come to order. The Chairman John Gogden presiding. You may be seated.
I'd like to invite everyone to remain standing through the end of the pledge delivered by Commissioner Stidham. But first, our invocation by Commissioner Moore.
Heavenly Father, this is a very special day, a very difficult day. God, we first want to start out with just recognizing the many Americans and many people, Lord, who perished on this day 24 years ago. And we thank you, God, that we live in a country like America that has survived that and has come back strong. And we're grateful for that, Lord. And we're also would like to lift up Charlie Kirk's family to you, Lord, and all those who knew him, all those who've been influenced by him. What a patriot he was. And we thank you for his life and legacy that he's left us. God, we thank you for this opportunity to join together tonight, to serve Sullivan County, a beautiful, wonderful place to live. And we pray, God, that you give each of us the wisdom that we need to make righteous decisions, God, to make good decisions. We pray, God, that you will order our steps. We pray that you will give us guidance through your Holy Spirit, Lord. And we thank you. We thank you so much for all the many blessings that you give to us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Throw in face of the mic, proper hand salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. When the board opens, please record your presence.
Excuse me, 19 present, 5 absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have a quorum. The Sullivan County work session Thursday, September 11th, 2025 is in session. Our first order of business, Since we don't have any rezoning this evening, our first order of business is public comment on agenda and non-agenda related items. If anyone wished to sign up for that but didn't get the opportunity to, the sign-up sheets are over there underneath the seal by the doors. If you didn't get a chance to do that, feel free. Before I get to the list, I'll read the public comment rules. Each speaker is requested to state their name and address for the clerk's electronic record. Though this may not be question answer, clarifying questions may be permitted. No speaker can transfer or yield time to another speaker. Each speaker will be allotted 3 minutes uninterrupted and is asked to direct all comments to the chair of the body and not directly at members. At the end of the 3 minutes, I'll let you know and ask that you make your final statements. I'll call up Matthew Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Matthew Johnson, 3425 Highway 126, Montville, Tennessee, 37617. Just wanted to take a moment before you get into your agenda to point out the commemorative poster that's on each of your desks. This is provided to you for what you do in recognition from our office. And this is a commemorative poster that Governor Lee had commissioned, and the kickoff was this past July. The governor will be this year coming is the America 250. And so as you look at this poster, you will find people, images, events. It's pretty, it's a great poster, and I'm sure you'll see something and recognize someone from Mountain City to Memphis on that poster. But I think they've been printed on proper card stock, and I think they're suitable for frame. Hope you enjoy them, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to come up and address the commission, public comment? Without objection, the public comment portion of the agenda is closed. Our next order of business is a review of draft resolutions. Recognize Commissioner Crosswhite on item number 1.
Thank you, Chairman. This resolution comes from the Department of Archives. It's for $20,000 for the 250th anniversary coming up. They will be using the $20,000 to work on their post-revelations, records to keep them safe. And if they do not get this grant, they do have $20,000 already in their budget that can cover it. So since it's really no new money, I just like to put this on census.
Did you move consent calendar?
Please.
You've heard the explanation on item number 1. The floor is open for discussion. Sponsor moves consent calendar. Is there any discussion on item number 1? Any objection to item number 1 being placed on consent calendar? Any objection? Without objection, item number 1 is placed on the consent calendar. Recognize Commissioner Crosswhite on item number 2.
There again, this is a grant that would be coming from the Tennessee State Library and Archives for the amount of $7,470, and they will be using this for their library, appropriated for library technology upgrades. So it is a grant. If the grant doesn't come through, the matching funds shall be coming from the library's existing budget. So no new money, we'll put that on consent also.
You've heard the explanation on item number 2. The floor is open for discussion. Sponsor moves consent calendar on item number 2. Is there any discussion on item number 2? Is there any objection to item number 2 being placed on the consent calendar? Any objection? Without objection, item number 2 is placed on consent calendar. Recognize Commissioner Vanover on item number 3.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item 3 is the resolution to recognize reimbursements received for project on-track expenses. If you remember, about 3 months ago, we did a resolution to apply for this grant. This is just accepting the money. It's for tutoring from the state of Tennessee. It reimburses our county for tutoring, extra tutoring for some students in need enrichment. So we're just accepting a grant from the state, and I'd like to ask for it to be placed on consent as well.
You've heard the explanation on item number 3. The floor is open for discussion on item number 3. Any discussion? Sponsor moves consent calendar on item number 3. Is there any objection to item number 3 being placed on consent calendar? Any objection to item number 3 being placed on consent calendar? Without objection, item number 3 is placed on consent calendar. Recognize Commissioner Crosswhite on item number 4.
Thank you, Chairman. This is another grant. This is for the Tennessee program for students on their work-based learning experience. There will be at least 15 high school students that will have this opportunity to work with participants in the Tennessee Young Employee Program. Because, you know, every child's not ready for college, but every child's not ready for vocational school either. So this is going to help kids find a job and be able to work with them. The salaries broke out here, and there's no matching money from the county. So I like this also to be on consent.
You've heard the explanation on item number 4. The floor is open for discussion on item number 4. Sponsor moves consent calendar on item number 4. Is there any objection to item number 4 being placed on consent calendar? Any objection? Without objection, item number 4 is placed on the consent calendar. Recognize Commissioner King on item number 5. Commissioner King.
Thank you. This resolution is coming from the Highway Commissioner, Scott Murray, and it's a resolution to approve the sale of a long arm mower and tractor. This is to sell it to the city of Bluff City. They was wanting to trade this tractor and long arm mower in, and with what they offered them for it, and Bluff City was needing a mower to mow the right-of-ways and stuff, and the price of what they had been offered as a trade-in was $20,000, and the city of Bluff City said that they would match that and give the highway department the $20,000 for the mower. And also they wanted to transfer a asphalt roller also to Bluff City. This was surplus, they hadn't been using it, so the highway commissioner said that instead of it sitting over there rusting, just to we'll give it to them and let them use it, because they've got a bunch of patching and some asphalt work that they need to do. So both of these items, you know, we were going to do something with them anyway, so Bluff City can use them at good use. So I'd like for everybody to vote on this. This would be good for Bluff City, and also we could get rid of some surplus stuff from the highway department. They don't see.
You've heard the explanation on item number 5. The floor is open for discussion. Sponsor moves consent calendar for item number 5. Is there any objection to item number 5 being placed on the consent calendar? Any objection? Without objection, item number 5 is placed on consent calendar. Recognize Commissioner Crosswhite on item number 6.
Thank you, Chairman. This is another, this is just more or less a cleanup, or not a cleanup, but this is something that's mandatory. Every one of you should have this on your desk. It's from the state hazard officer, and this is, excuse me, we have to do this before disasters occur. This is just keeping the people so they can do their job, in other words. This is a condition for future grants, funding for projects. There's no money involved. It's just something that's mandatory that has to be done. And consent, please.
You've heard the explanation on item number 6. The floor is open for discussion on item number 6. Sponsor moves consent calendar on item number 6. Is there any objection to item number 6 being placed on the consent calendar? Any objection? Without objection, item number 6 is placed on the consent calendar. Recognize Commissioner Crosswhite on item number 7.
Thank you, Chairman. This resolution is to appropriate $23,446,000 for technical support for Sullivan County EMA. Let me read it to make sure there's no matching funds. They already have this in their budget, so we just need to approve to spend it, $23,446. Fund payment for the new purchase order for service for the Motorola Solutions to Sullivan County EMA, so. Reappropriating, so this will be EMA.
You've heard the explanation on item number 7. The floor is open for discussion. Anyone seek recognition?
Commissioner Crosswhite, if this is new money, did they have it in their budget request?
Well, Mr. Wood, I'm really not sure. I'll have to get with Mr. Bean before next. I just got this like day before yesterday. Larry might know. We're appropriating up to 20 to fund payment, so I don't know if Larry knows or not for the.
Go back and look at it.
Okay.
We can wait for him to get back to his
Yeah.
desk with his
We'll
mic.
get it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's not anybody, the way our system works, you issue a purchase order in one fiscal year for different things, and you cannot change it without letting it float back in fund balance, and then,
It's not new money.
Okay. Who? Is any of the commissioners in here, who's on the 911 board now? Anybody? Can anybody tell me that? So you're on the 911 board? Anybody else in here? Okay.
Commissioner McMurray.
I was just going to say, it looks like at the first paragraph there, it says that this fund amount went unused for the last fiscal year of 24-25, so it's relevant to this fiscal year. So we need to, it looks like it's just reappropriating
Yeah,
the
that's what Larry
amount that
said.
was not used last year for this same service.
So nothing boils down to no money.
Anyone else seek? Thank you. Anyone else seek recognition? Commissioner Crosswhite.
Consent.
Sponsor moves consent calendar on item number 7. Is there any objection to item number 7 being placed on the consent calendar? Is there any objection to item number 7? Without objection, item number 7 is placed on the consent calendar. Recognize Commissioner Vanover on item number 8.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item 8 is a resolution to authorize the Sullivan County purchasing agent to advertise for requests for qualifications to provide tourism marketing and tourism enhancement services to Sullivan County on an annual contractual basis. I'd like to take a minute and just read the entire resolution because this is a resolution that affects a lot of people in our county. It affects the future of our county. So, whereas in '23, Sullivan County implemented an occupancy tax that has collected more than $1.6 million. Whereas state law requires revenues from occupancy taxes to be used for tourism purposes, including promotion and/or development. Whereas in November 24, the Board of Commissioners of Sullivan County approved resolution number 2024-1108, directing that 50% of the county's occupancy tax revenues will be directed to NETA to continue, and that will continue annually forward annually. Whereas resolution number 2024-1108, as appropriated by the commission, established policy that the remaining 50% of revenue from the county's occupancy tax be directed to the Sullivan County Office of Director of Tourism. And whereas the commission now wishes to explore how best to utilize the 50% of occupancy tax revenues directed to the Sullivan County Office of Director of Tourism by seeking qualifications from those with expertise in the field of tourism promotion and development. Now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Sullivan County meeting regular session September 18, 25, authorizes the Sullivan County purchasing agent to advertise their RFQ for tourism promotion and development using normal purchasing procedure to review submissions and negotiation of any contracts. Further be it resolved, these guidelines shall be applied. Number one, Sullivan County is seeking to contract for consultation regarding and/or provision of tourism promotion and development services for an initial contract period of 1 year. Number two, the purchasing department will utilize its established protocols to review all responses submitted to answer to the RFQ. Day-to-day contact for any contractors would go through the administrative branch of county government via the finance department, deputy mayor, and all contractors shall present a report to the full board of county commissioners no less than once every 3 months. In addition, all contractors shall regularly send a representative to the Sullivan County Budget Committee, which shall retain authority granted to said committee in the original resolution approving implementation of the county occupancy tax. Before we go any further, I just want to say that archives is getting to be a bigger job. The longer you go, the more archives you're going to have. Tourism is becoming a bigger job. It's just too much for any one person to handle. I've heard many people in this room say that. So it's a job that's too big for one person to handle, and I want to thank Matthew Johnson for wearing 2 hats for many years and taking care of both of these departments. And this was office were combined several years ago, and it's just time to update and renew some things and modernize and try to make the best of our occupancy tax. And this is one way that we feel that we can do that. So be glad to answer any questions.
You've heard the explanation on item number 8. The floor is open for discussion. Recognize Commissioner Harvey on item number 8.
Question in regard to the support of museums, parks, recreation. Does this exclude any funding going to those?
No, we shouldn't exclude anything. And I really think this new way of promoting tourism in our county would really help our rural parts of our county more. If NETA's strength is with our cities, then whoever gets this contract surely would not duplicate services, and it would, I would imagine, would focus more to the rural parts of our county. So I think it would be very good for the rural parts of the county to get some promotion of the tourism.
So if there are city-run parks, recreations, museums, and the money's going to NETA, that none of that would be used for those city facilities, correct?
I don't think so, no.
So the only way they're going to get any support is going to have to come out of the Sullivan County portion, correct?
More than likely, yes. And I think that's something that can be done.
Okay.
Commissioner Akert.
Thank you, Chairman. In the middle of the thing, it mentions whereas resolution number 2024-11-08 approved by the commission established policy that remaining 50% of revenue from the county's occupancy tax be directed to the Sullivan County Office of Director of Tourism. And I'll be the first one. If y'all remember, I wasn't at that meeting in November, and we had another issue that we debated for quite a few months after that. So do we go ahead and approve a new department for the county?
I think that's what we're going to be working toward through a contractor.
So we're gonna contract it out and not hire a director of tourism?
Yes. And I think that's the right decision. I mean, in this county, in this state, there are very few counties that have their own tourism people. Only place in East Tennessee, only county or only city that has their own tourism department is Jonesboro. Every other county, every other city contracts out their tourism to someone. And I think that's a better way to do tourism promotion than try to have someone on staff.
I mean, as you stated earlier, in 2023, since the occupancy tax has been collected, more than 1.6 million, I think we've gotten a little excited on spending a lot of that money here lately. So, and that's what worries me is trying to add on to it. Because if we got another request for a proposal, who's coming up with the proposal request, qualifications?
Well, Chris Davis is here. She's the one that does that, and she'd be glad to explain the process.
I'd be curious. I mean, Chris is great. She and I have a great copier lease relationship.
I see the RFQs as, like if you want to go out to a new restaurant, you got to see the menu before you know what to order.
Yeah.
Because RFQs tell you what they've got to offer, so that's what the process is.
And that's what we'll work with. I'll have to work with some folks to see what we need to put specifications from these firms, and then get them back in.
Yeah, because I mean, we've given money to NETA, Explore Bristol, Visit Kingsport.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We got it, and we've got our new airline coming. We got money going to Observation on Park out of it. I mean, we've got a lot of money going, and that's what worries me. Trying to say, let's now do when every year that money can fluctuate up and down.
That's the good thing about doing the contract situation. I think if you hire an employee,
Yeah.
you're stuck with a salary, you're stuck with benefits. When you put the RFQs out, you see what they have to offer. Maybe they don't have anything to offer. Maybe it's too expensive. You can turn it down. You can have a lot more flexibility.
And then it talks about the Office Director of Tourism. So, are we all going to vote on the contract, or is it all going to go through Larry Bailey's office?
Ms. Davis can speak to that.
So David, what we typically do is once we get the evaluations back in, of course, that kind of starts the process of evaluating them, tallying them up. We kind of start out with the overall average highest ranked firm. We might even ask to see presentations or demonstrations from them. If we cannot negotiate a price with them, we'll move on to the second highest ranked one to get to a contract level. And of course, Dan would be the one help review and give us recommendations on the contract.
Yeah, because we've done this, with the building projects, right? We've done, we have to do the architects and all that.
Right, it's very similar to that, or it's similar to request for proposals. We're just not asking for pricing in this, we're asking for qualifications.
Right, because, in the building ones, we kind of had to, there's no way to budget the money until we knew. Correct. And then that really bit us in the rear end.
Correct.
So that's what makes me nervous. I mean, because this money is tax collections.
Right.
And such.
Right. And that's why we'll just have to start the negotiations, because, the first one, they might be extremely high, and we just come to an impasse, maybe we can't afford them, and we might have to move on to the second one,
Yeah.
whatever the budget is, what we're working with.
Because now it's under Matthew Johnson, correct?
Correct.
Right. I haven't heard anybody complain, so maybe he has. But, yeah.
I think Mr. Johnson's got mixed emotions about this,
Yeah.
happiness and joy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had too much on him for too long, so I think he's very supportive of this. And
I mean, for me personally, before I could vote it, I think I'd have to hear a presentation from Matthew to tell us what all's going on.
he's here.
Well, yeah, but I mean like a presentation, what's going on in the tourism archives, because we have a lot of, Sullivan County has a great history, with over the last 250 years.
It does.
So,
I'm sure Matthew could be glad to address that at any time you choose.
all right.
Commissioner Slayton.
Thank you, Chair. So the Sullivan County Office of Director of Tourism will essentially be replaced by whatever contractor
Yes.
was awarded this. So not currently an Office of Director of Tourism.
True.
Commissioner Glover.
When I look at this resolution, when you deduct Bristol's money out of it, Kingsport's money out of it, that leaves about $800,000 in there. Then you got the airport money, then you got money on resolutions that we've done in here. And now we're talking about hiring a contractor to do the work for the county for a tourism director. Then, what really bothers me is day-to-day contact for any contractors would go through the administrative branch of county government via the finance director, deputy to the mayor, and all contractors shall present a report to the full board of county commissioners no less than once each 3 months. Why would the county commission not vote on where this money goes and how it's spent and how it's going to be distributed out? I think this is a way for some sticky fingers to get a hold of about $800,000. And I got fooled on some other resolutions in here a while back, and I'm not going to fall for this one. I think the county commission should decide how that money's spent, and we should vote on it. I've heard several commissioners say some things need to be done here in Blountville to attract people. Got an email there the other night wanting to all of us work together to bring concerts to Blountville. Won't we take that $800,000 and build us a real nice farmer's market up here on the grounds and get people to come to Blountville that way? Spend some money on a nice building for things like that. We don't need a contractor to tell us what to do on that. I'm out.
Who would you propose to be in charge of tourism in Sullivan County?
Commissioner Cook, you'll hit your button or turn back on, sir.
We tried to hire, I think the mayor's tried to hire people in the past and had no luck. Mr. Johnson's overworked the way it is. He can't do it. Somebody's got to be in charge.
Who you got in mind, Mr. Van Dover?
Well, that's what the RFQs are for, to put it out there and see what the qualifications are.
I think we all know.
I don't think we do. I mean, the mayor's here if you'd like to ask him to tell you what's on his mind. Mr. Mayor, would you like to
Come on up,
address
sir.
that?
You snuck in on us. You know, after the mayor, I'll recognize you, Commissioner Aker.
Thanks. I'm not sure who asked, but sponsor asked. And I appreciate Chris being here tonight. Let me speak to the last comment first. We're not trying to recruit people from the county to come to Blountville. A true tourism marketing program would be designed by a professional. And I think what we're recruiting is what's going to happen in Bristol this weekend. That is, people from outside this area will come to Sullivan County and spend their money, provide the sales tax that we've saved people property tax on for the last couple of years. Matthew inherited a department that was the Department of Tourism and Archives and Tourism that was set up by the former mayor. He, for whatever reason, he didn't need a reason, he let the tourism director go. And that office was combined, and the money for that office was combined. Matthew is without peer as an archivist. Tourism is more than just a pamphlet, an advertisement in a magazine. And tourism originates outside this county. And I've heard Kingsport and Bristol mentioned sitting in the back. Sullivan County Office of Tourism has to sell Kingsport and Bristol. They also have to sell Southwest Virginia. I know when I was recruiting industry, I always talked about the Barter Theater and everything in this area. What we want to do is get people to this area. And what I expect out of the contractor is that they would come with a targeted marketing program. And where are our customers? We kind of know where our customers are for NASCAR. But we want to get people to East Tennessee. Our customers may be a tourist in Nashville, Tennessee, and or Memphis, Tennessee, and they've come to Tennessee for a reason. And while they're there, we need to say, hey, the next time you come to Tennessee, come to East Tennessee. Go to Gatlinburg on the way up to Northeast Tennessee if you want to go fishing in the South Ocean River. Go to Hollywood. We want to just attract people to Northeast Tennessee as a whole. NETA represents all 8 counties, and we've had NETA for years. I was former chairman of NETA, and they've done a good job in what they do. But they've never had enough money to do targeted marketing. Never had a request to do targeted marketing. These new flights we have in the Tri-Cities coming from Washington. I don't know what a PR agency would bring us, but I think it'd be a good idea to maybe run an ad in Washington and say, hey, you get Tri-City for $49. And in the wintertime, you can get the ski slopes in 30 to 40 minutes. So this is not a local marketing program. It's a vision for the future, I think. As Zane said, I interviewed who I thought was a professional, and that person wasn't interested. I have several applications and contacts of people who wanted the job, but they did not have a professional experience that I think we need. So, in talking with the staff, how do we go forward? I don't want another county employee, but I do want to do something in tourism. And I thought we came up with the fact that we can hire a professional that can start next week or next month or whenever we get a contract selling Sullivan County and Northeast Tennessee. So I'll be, there's no new money in this. There's not a salary. There's nothing permanent about this. It's just making the best use, what I think, my opinion, making the best use of the money that you voted for. And this split that we sometimes talk about, what Sullivan County and what Kingsport, Mount Crystal, we're all in this together. If there were ever a thing that we need to do together, it's this. Go to or Bristol Caverns or whatever, but any marketing program has to include Kingsport Bristol. It just has to, because that's where a lot of the things are. Bays Mount, Still Creek Park. But we want people to come stay here, enjoy the experience. And I think we need a professional touch. I want a professional touch. I want you represented in Nashville, Tennessee, or Memphis, Tennessee, or Dallas, Texas. I want you represented well, and I want you represented first class. Be happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have any questions for Mayor?
And I know this is, but I just want to make sure I understand this person, if they get hired, what is their responsibility in coming back to the commission to discuss where their direction is and what they're going to be? Are they going to be independent of the commission, or
well,
is it?
Good question, Cheryl. That's a very good question. The agency, they come and report to the commission every 3 months, as I said. It is hard to report to 24 individual people But collectively, we should come back to the commission. It's hard to get direction from 24 individual people. And that's why that agency should report its problems or whatever, gather information from Mr. Bailey's department, from the mayor's office. But yes, the commission ought to be reported to. You voted the tax, you're spending the money, you deserve a report. And I would envision that whoever is awarded the contract through the selection process that Chris has talked about would come here and say, this is what I have planned. I can't give you the details, but this is what I have planned to sell Sullivan County. Now, we're not going to get a total agreement on that, but certainly a report to you. And somebody's got to say, yeah, go ahead. We're going to say, yeah, go ahead when we issue the contract. Okay.
Mr. King.
Thank you. Mayor, you said that you're wanting to promote Breastplate Kingsport. Isn't that what NETA is supposed to be doing? Isn't that where their money's supposed to be going, is promoting Breastplate Kingsport and Sullivan County Hall?
Yes, well, I don't know. I think that's what the commission intended when you gave half the tax to NETA. Of course, NETA represents the 8 counties of Northeast Tennessee.
Exactly.
And I believe Alicia had said that she would report to you all what the Sullivan County marketing program was. I was here last month and she did a good job for what she does. And as I say, I watched that program, NETA, and supported it for the last 20 years. But I'm saying, you've got money here. It's in the bank. I think we ought to spend it to do what you passed it for in the first place. What else? I don't want to hire set up an office and hire a director and somebody that's not. If they're a professional, they're probably going to be from out of the area, or they're going to be from one of our cities. Staff there, we might steal somebody from there. But in my opinion, and of course this is for you to decide. In my opinion, I think we ought to get our feet wet by having professionals ready to go tomorrow, or whenever we issue a contract. The presentation on, I didn't get a lot of it, but I know that over the years, it's been a rather passive marketing program. And by passive, and I know Alicia has stepped it up, but I'm talking passive, pamphlets in weapon centers, putting ads in airplane magazines, things of that nature. I would envision that if we contract somebody out, I would envision an aggressive marketing program, to identify who our customer is, where they're coming from, what their interests are, and then target them with information on this area. Like a $49 airline flight from Washington, D.C.
Well, I guess where I'm coming from, let's say that we get somebody in Memphis interested to come to Sullivan County and they make the 7-hour drive up here. What have we got? Let's say just, I'll take Blumville for instance. What's Blumville got to offer to get them to come up here and pull off the interstate over here and come into Blumville? What's the traction here to do that?
We're not recruiting from Blumville. If we had a hotel, that's what we would hope they would do. We're recruiting for the whole county. We're recruiting for Meadowview Convention Center. We're recruiting for the Hampton Inn at exit 74. We're recruiting for everybody. We want them to come here. Hey, they might come downtown Blunt and buy an ice cream. We don't have anything else right now.
Exactly.
I think we failed miserably in supporting the rural parts of our area in growth and recruiting businesses for. You know that in the 200 years here, we've never recruited a business for rural Sullivan County, a commercial business. We spend $351,000 a year recruiting industry, but we restricted that to not include commercial businesses. Has anybody ever made a call to Holiday Inn Express to put a possibility of putting a hotel at exit 69 out here. Never happened. So we're not recruiting for Bluntville, we're recruiting for Sullivan County, and we'll recruit for our neighbors by virtue of having them here.
I agree, but you gotta have restaurants, and you gotta have something for these people when they do get here, all over this rural part of Sullivan County. You gotta have something for them to do, and somewhere for them to stay, and somewhere for them to go eat. And
I think we do, and
but they're in the cities, most of them. I'm not saying all, but
why
the
would we
cities.
not want them in the city? Why would we not want, half of you represent a small portion of you represent Kingsport, a small portion of you represent Bristol. Why would we not? They are Bristol, they are Sullivan County residents first. Before they're a resident of Bristol, they are a Sullivan County resident.
I agree 100% with you. But if you're going to try to get people to come to the rural part of Sullivan County, you're going to have something in the rural part of Sullivan County for them to come to. That's
I'm working on that, and I'll have your proposal up here pretty soon.
I can give you a proposal right up here behind the school. We could have a building up there that would draw people to come into Sullivan County and come to Bluntville. We could have that. And it's in phase 2 if we do it and do it right.
Well, I appreciate your telling the rest of the commissioners that. They probably know. I know about that phase 2.
We've talked about this.
I know about phase 2, and I hope you do phase 2. But I'll say this. Passed the budget this year with no tax increase, and you know how tight the budget's going to be. I want that farmer's market more than you do, if that's possible. I want phase 2 more than you do. I want that entire property developed more than you do, because it happened under my watch as mayor. And I'd like to see as much done in this last year that I'm going to be here. And I'm not making any announcement right now. Don't take that as an announcement. I might not be. But no, I agree with you, Dwight. I will. I'm looking at rural Sullivan County and how we're lacking. And as I say, I'll have a proposal for you within the next 2 months of how I hope to develop rural Sullivan County. But that'll be for rural Sullivan County. It won't involve Kingsport and Bristol, except to bring people here.
Well, and getting back to the farmer's market, everybody says the farmer's market is where you sell vegetables and produce and all that. We can make something, you could sell produce on Wednesday and Saturday, but the rest of the time there's all kinds of different things. I hate to copy Kingsport, but still, they've got something going on down there. They have something in that building constantly. And that's what we need here to draw people in. Let's just start the 100-mile radius of this area, bringing those people in. And then as you get bigger and have more stuff, then you could go further on out.
Are you suggesting we spend our tourism money on the farmer's market?
That'd be a start. At least we'd have something.
That would not, in my opinion, and I think the opinion of the control of the Treasury, I don't think that would be a tourism issue. I think that's a local issue, and it's something we ought to fund locally. So I guess I disagree with you on that.
Well, if that's, I don't know.
I didn't come here to debate the farmer's market or phase 2, so I'm here talking.
But there's money out there if we want to go after it. There's money out there. Right here's 2 that's done it. We've done it. Been there, done that. And we've got something down here that we draw visitors in here from all parts of the country. But, you got to have something to draw them in here. If we didn't have our ag center, people wouldn't come today.
Well, Dwight, we could discuss a lot of things that are happening in the past. And I really appreciate the fact that Bob White worked with the Cattlemen's Association to take the $4.4 million grants.
Exactly.
I think I was around then, and we met right up there when the table was up there, and We talked to the Cattlemen's Association and reached an agreement. And we've both been thoroughly criticized for that. I thought it was good for Sullivan County. You did too. And we agreed on that, and it's been good for Sullivan County. But what we're talking about now is whether Sullivan County is going to be represented as a moving county in different cities in this country, that recruiting people that might want to come here. We had an article in a magazine, a national magazine, 2 years ago. It said Montana on the whole. We never got anything out of that. They were talking about trout fishing. And I'm going up there in the morning at the weir because that's one of our tourist recruitments. But we have great assets here, and I just want to see us exploit them all and grow our sales tax base. Mr. Bailey can tell you how many millions of dollars that we have saved taxpayers of Sullivan County by growing our sales tax base. It's about $2 for every $1 we grow that base. You know that. You've been in those hearings. So that's what we need to do is grow our sales. That's how Sullivan County's going to grow. You don't locate plants 300 people anymore. You're lucky to get 50. So if we're going to grow, it's going to be in the commercial end of the business, the entertainment end of the business. So again, I guess that's neither here nor there. I think what you've got is an idea that myself, Mr. Bailey, and Zane, and Ms. Crosswhite, and the other sponsors have talked about, that this is a way that Sullivan County ought to go. There are different opinions, but we are restricted on spending that money on tourism-related articles. That removes any issue that by doing that, having a professional public relations firm representing us removes any question that the controller would have about spending our money. And I think in a couple of years, what I want to happen happens, we might want to look at increasing that money in some way. We may be spending it better than anybody else. Questions?
Thank you. Commissioner Glover.
Dwight, you weren't through?
I'm done, thank you.
Okay.
Well, he had, I recognized him earlier, but this was for the question specifically for the mayor.
I've got a question.
Okay.
I want to have that all over the place at this point.
Anybody else for me?
Okay. Okay, Commissioner Aker.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard about the director of tourism, and the mayor, you mentioned you had a bunch of applications and talked to people.
No, I haven't had a bunch of applications. I've had a bunch of inquiries.
Then we talked about having a PR firm do it. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting if we go down this road, what we decide to do, because we do need to promote Sullivan County. But then as I sit here and think about it, and then, Mayor, you'd be much more versed in this, I would say this seems like how maybe networks got started. Bristol has tourism, Kingsport has tourism, now we're talking about tourism. And I would think that, with economic development, how we all work together on networks, do we not need to think about coming together and all working on tourism together, because we are giving money to entities in Bristol and Kingsport, and like the mayor said, we're Sullivan County, the land is Sullivan County first, and then we're Bristol and Kingsport, and so as the hotels are in the cities right now. There's been talk of some hotels in the county, but we haven't had any of those happen yet. And that's where I'm just worried. We've gotten very excited spending a lot of this money already. And so I guess it'll be interesting to see if the applicants are people or agencies. And what are we looking for? PR, advertising. I mean, we've got some good advertising agencies locally to support Sullivan County and promote Sullivan County. Or are we going to go down the path of just having a new office? A lot of people said Matthew's overworked. Well, does he just need more employees? So I think that's what's going to be interesting. I think that's what's hard in something like this, is trying to decide the best course possible. And we are a little curious about that final outcome on this, so it's, but if we're looking at a PR firm to promote Sullivan County, put the ads in, and get people here, that's one thing. If we're looking for a director of tourism, that's a whole nother conversation in my mind. And I think that's where we gotta decide how we're gonna move forward.
David, I agree with you, establishing a complete new department. And going back to when we had it established, and I had the tourism director who worked for me from 2002 to 2006. And as I said, former mayor, for whatever reason, let that person go. The department didn't go away. The slot's there, the job's there. It's just with tourism. What I would propose to do eventually is to break those out. It should have been done 2 years ago, quite honestly. But they shouldn't be together because, I mean, if I told Matthew, you do tourism marketing, he would do it. He would do it, and he would do it well. But I want this big old building we're in here to be the archives and the showplace of the state. And once we get our move done, it will be. And that's going to be a big job. But you're right. I thought about coming and saying, hey, I want to fill this slot. I'll take this much money out of the Archives and Tourism budget. We'll set up an office, we'll hire a secretary, we'll do all this, and we'll start from ground zero. That just ain't the way we need to do it with $500,000. We need to see what you voted on. You had the guts to vote in an occupancy tax. That wasn't easy. That wasn't an easy vote for you. That'll be a vote that you will hear about next year. Again, they'll revisit you. So I want you to get the most out of it you can. Any question, Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Glover.
Okay.
Mayor, I understand exactly what you're saying, but we're already giving NETA $800,000, more or less, Driscoll Kingston. And we're going to be duplicating the service. I mean, we're going to be taking $800,000 or $500,000, whatever we got. And that, Ms. Phelps from NETA has said it time and time again. All we got to do is pick up a phone and call her and invite her to come to that podium. And this commission right here can lead them in the direction that we want to go. We're already investing $800,000 of taxpayers' money in that formula. Why do we want to take another $800,000 and duplicate something that we've already got? All we got to do is tweak it just a little bit. And take that other money and spend it on things like you're saying in the rural part of Sullivan County that's going to attract people. That's what our focus should be. We're going to take $800,000 and hire a contracting firm to come in to do what we're already spending $800,000 in NETA to do.
You're right partially, Commissioner. You funded an organization probably tripling their budget that represents 8 counties in Northeast Tennessee. Now, I don't know. I didn't come down here when you split that money out. If I had come, I would have urged you not to do that. Because the young lady had a full-time job representing eight counties in the state. And I want somebody to represent Sullivan County. That's what we are, Sullivan County. So I guess I make the best case I can with the money we got left. As I say, if I had maybe been more aggressive, I like for the commission to be the commission. I like for the commission to do the things that the commission gets 13 votes for. I did not come down here and say, don't do that, please don't do that. I may have not been of good service to Sullivan County by not doing that. But again, I want the commission to be the commission. This commission has never done anything that can't be undone. Every law's been passed here can be undone. You can do that. You got a year to do it. But I just want you to consider this on its merits. I'm here just to add what my vision is, what Mr. Buddy's vision is, what Zane's vision is, and a lot of other folks, and how we can work with Convention and Visitors Bureau in Kingsport, move forward Bristol and Bristol for the good of Sullivan County. David, if I'd be happy to convene a meeting if they want to talk about joining us. I did that 23 years ago, and it took us 2 years to do it. I don't have 2 years left to do it, but I'd be happy to talk to them and start the process. But I think with networks has worked out well. Give you an example. Of course, when we started, we wanted to make sure that we're trying to create jobs, and our efforts were not to create sales tax. And but not Johnson City, Washington County. When they incorporated net reps, that was what net reps did for the last 15 years, is recruited commercial businesses for Johnson City, Washington County. We need to do that, and as I say, I'm proposing for you to do that here soon. But this is tourism. This is getting somebody from Montana to come fish here. It's getting somebody from New York to come go to North Carolina and ski. We don't care. We just need them in here. We need them here. They'll bring wealth to us. Any other questions?
Anyone else have any questions? If not, Mayor, thank you for being here
Well,
with us.
this is the first time since I left this chamber that I've addressed you all as a commission, and I appreciate the opportunity to do it. I've missed you.
Always happy to have you.
I have missed you. So we got a year left to serve together, and we can pull this thing together. I guarantee you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Vanover. One more question, Commissioner Slagle.
Thank you, Chair. So the resolution specifically says that money needs to be spent in Sullivan County. So if we think it's not, we need to get Ms. Phelps back in here and get an explanation as commission. I think we deserve that. Secondly, so if this money, per state law, can go to whatever organization is chosen by purchasing to run tourism for Sullivan County, then that would free up money that would be existing there that was there for the Director of Tourism, correct?
Good point. That there should be money freed up, yes.
Well, do we have any idea where that money will be allocated?
Well, that's so far down the road. This is a resolution that...
Well, to the existing budget, so the reason I ask. So if this goes to a firm, whatever's left of it, because we funded the airlines and we've done a lot with it, so there'll be a net amount of money left, whether that's 500, 200, whatever it ends up being.
Well, that'll all be under the purview of the mayor. You know, they work for the mayor, and I'm sure he can tell you what salary who makes and what would be left and what would be cut out and what would be reallocated. So that's a question for him.
All right, thanks.
Attorney Street, do you have a legal inquiry?
Yes, as somebody said, I'll have to review this contract. I don't think the resolution is clear. It doesn't really say whether it's authorizing the county to contract. It just says that they're seeking requests for qualifications. And I'd just like for it to be clear whether they're just gonna get the qualifications and then, I don't know what they're gonna do with them, or if it's a resolution to actually go forward and contract. And it's a big question, because apparently we're talking about $800,000 here. So I just need that clarified, so when I review the contract, I'll know what I can approve and what I can't approve.
I'd be glad to clarify that. It's just to put out the request for qualifications. It's not hiring anybody, it's not spending any money. It's just seeing what's available, what the resources are, what they can and can't do. It's no contract, no money, just put it out there to see what's available. You know, and nothing may be available. It may not be affordable, it may not be workable, it may not be doable. It's just a request to put the qualifications out there. So.
Commissioner Vanover, you final word on the resolution, sir?
Just a couple of things to try to clear up before we leave. Chris, when this RFQs are put out, it won't be put out to any individuals, correct? It'll be put out to corporations, to...
Correct.
So no individuals will be getting this RFQ.
It would go out to firms. I mean, that's who would be responding, would be firms. We'll put it in the newspaper and then post it on our BidNet.
So no individuals, no one individual will be getting the RFQ.
And if there's, firms that you all know of or would like to be sent to, just let us know, let our office know, and we'll be sure they get a copy of it.
Thank you. And as far as duplicating services, whoever is awarded this contract in the end will need to coordinate with NETA, need to see what NETA does. And they need to not duplicate those services. So that needs to be made clear. So NETA, their strength appears to be in the cities. The strength of this new contracting services hopefully will be in the rural part of the county. So I think this will be very good for the tourism promotion in the rural part of our county. So we'll be clear and be sure that when this contract is awarded, that they're not duplicating services because of the communication that we have to have. And we're not spending $800,000 either. We may not spend anything. We're putting out a request for qualifications. That doesn't cost anything. Not spending any money. We may spend $100,000, we may spend $200,000, we may not spend anything. We're not spending $800,000. Not going to be any sticky fingers. So I hope everyone can support it.
I recognize Commissioner Cross and Commissioner King.
I apologize, but that confused me just a little bit, and I went back through and read again. I just want to make sure I understand what you just said. We are not spending anything. We are simply putting out the RFQs.
Exactly.
What is the next step then? Once we receive those back, will it come back to us?
She's explained that, and
Yes.
she'll explain it again.
Yes, that's what I was trying to. And then it goes to,
So, once we get all the qualifications back from the firms, it'll go to an evaluation committee, and they'll rank them and everything like that. So we'll get to the top ranked ones. And then I'll come back to you guys, and after we go through them and see if you want to pursue a contract.
and at that point, we would be spending money on said whatever contract.
Once we see what the proposal is, we
Okay.
could be at that point, but we're not at that point.
I understand that. Thank you.
Commissioner King.
That was, thanks, that was my question. It comes back to this full commission to make the decision, whether we go forward or whether we just drop it.
Is that the way it's going to be, Chris?
I mean, that would be by resolution if that's how it, if we
Yeah,
want to bring it back.
That'd be, we've got a procedure, we've got a protocol, that'd be up to Chris Davis. I don't want to set a precedent that every contract that's done in this county has to come back to the county commission for approval. I think that would possibly impede her ability to do her job.
Commissioner,
I'm done. Go ahead.
turn the street for what?
Well, Commissioner Vanover, you've confused me again now. You say you don't want to change how Chris does business. I just need to know, is Chris going to have the authority once she picks somebody to sign a contract or not? The resolution reads as if she's not. She's just going to seek proposals, which obviously would necessitate her coming back to the county commission to get approval. So I just need, when it comes to me, a contract for $500,000 or $800,000 or $80,000, I need to have a resolution that says it was approved to sign, and I don't have that right now.
It says in the resolution, we'll use our normal purchasing contract procedures.
Well, why is this even on here if you're saying Chris already has that authority? You're confusing me.
The mayor asked for a resolution to put out an RFQ.
Well, then to me, that means that all you want to do is submit for proposals. If there's a budgeted amount to spend $800,000 and it's budgeted, then I can approve the contract. If there's not a budgeted amount, so I would consider this an allocation. But if it's only to get solicitations and proposals, then that's a whole nother ballgame. If you want to authorize Chris to sign, then she's got to have allocated money.
I'd like to ask Chris to tell us how she does this and what her wishes are.
No, I would not proceed with signing a contract. We're going out for qualifications on this only. I'm not going to be the one to sign the contract without approval from somebody, and the funding, knowing the funding's there, and that's what the commission wants to do. So to me, Dan, this is seeking qualifications. Does that make sense?
Step one, this is step one.
Step one.
Step one process.
Are you comfortable with that?
I mean, that's the way I want to take
you that you're gonna have to get authority somewhere else to sign a contract, so I don't wanna be a block in all this.
Commissioner Aker.
Thank you, Chairman. And this is probably thinking on down the road, Chris, but after we go through the RFP and the request for qualifications, and again, I'm under the impression we're not spending any money right now. That's just qualifications.
Right.
Do you think the Office of Director of Tourism is going to need a new copier?
They might.
If I could not, David, I don't know. If I could not muddy the water more on this, as Zane said, this is a resolution that's asking for the commission authority to put out a request for qualifications. All the other things that we've talked about have been done previously. This commission has acted and done those things previously. That will direct how we move from here. Now, I would envision that once the selection committee, now, and this is not written in stone anywhere, but I would envision once the selection committee selects a group or whatever, that, and determines that the price is right, the conditions are right, that I would require them to come and say, County Commission, this is what we're going to do. This is what our plan is. This is what we were asked to develop. Come make you a presentation, but as I say, all the other things are done. We can go back on what you've done over the last 4 years. When you enacted the tax, you provided how to be spent, how you would do that. That's done. So what we need to do is find somebody, have them come tell you, now you might stand up and say, I don't want Sullivan County represented that way. And we're going to listen to you. And that contractor's going to listen to you. You're the county commission. You're the county commission. And this body, you act as a body, not as an individual. Individually, you speak to things, but you act as a body, and if you have something you want to push to the wall, you push to the wall. But that's what I envision. As I said, there's no promises that any agency, which we have many, that are very qualified to do this, will even want to look at this for the amount of money we've got. We may have to go out and beg somebody to say, design me a program, and I won't take it back to the county commission. And we'll bring it back to you, and you'll see it. I won't ask you to vote on it, because we'd have 24 different votes on what I want to do here and what I want to do here. I hope they didn't vote on water. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner King.
Thank you. I just got a question, I guess, Zane. You're gonna have to have some kind of budget to, when you go out to these contractors and saying, for them to give you a proposal, they're gonna have to know what they're gonna make, or how they're gonna earn it, or what they're gonna do, but when they come to you, or whoever, or Chris, and say, well, how much is he gonna pay, or how are you gonna get our money?
Dwight, I think it's the other way around. You put these RFQs out, they tell us how much they can do the job for.
But, exactly, but there again, they gotta have some place to start, they gotta know something about the budget to know how much money.
I don't think they didn't know anything about the budget. They sent the RFQ to us, and they tell us what they can do it for, and we compare them, and they don't need to know how much money we got or how much money we're gonna spend. They put it in their RFQ.
So they don't know how much work to do then. If you're going to give them $50 or $500,000, then that's how much work
Just gonna ask you to give us a proposal to promote, enhance tourism in Sullivan County and see what they have to offer.
There again, I don't see how you can hire somebody if they don't know what they're going to do or what they're going, how much money they're going to make. That's the only thing.
Well, I think they tell us what they can do in the RFQ. Mayor.
All right.
Yeah, Dwight's making, he's making a point. When we go out for the RFQ, you can't say just market Sullivan County, what would you do? You gotta say, I got $500,000 to spend, or I got $400,000 to spend. What can you do for $400,000? I agree with that, with that thing, with that point. Now, Mr. Chairman, you, as budget committee chairman, have certain authorities in this government. And once we determine what we want, if we want to say $300,000, we want to keep a couple of hundred in the bank. We say, what will you do with $300,000? Determine our needs, determine where our opportunities are. Then come back, tell me how you're going to do them. And within this $300,000 budget, we can do that. We can do it either way. I would prefer to say I got $300,000 to spend. But we can do it either way. If I had $300,000 to spend, I'd run again.
Well, maybe we will tell them how much money we got, so I stand corrected. We will put a budget in there and let them say, you got this much money, and what can you do for us? County Attorney Street, are you comfortable with what's going on? Okay. All I've got to say.
You'll be rolling this to next week?
Next week's calendar.
Is this on consent?
Be nice.
I think there might be at least one objection. Just one. Maybe two, maybe two. Good. Spread on everyone's desk, Mr. Bailey passed out a new resolution, is that correct, sir?
Yeah, this is a resolution
Next week. Okay, we don't have a sponsor, but we have to have a sponsor to present it.
Yeah.
Commissioner Calton wishes to be the sponsor of. Commissioner Calton wishes to be the sponsor of, at this point, it's item number 9. And who would like to be the co-sponsor of item number 9? Commissioner Carr wishes to be the sponsor of item number 9. We have Commissioners Calton and Commissioners Carr sponsoring resolution number 9 to approve the change for Sullivan County employees' share of premium participation in state insurance plan for the 2025 calendar year. We'll be taking that up next week at our regularly scheduled commission meeting. Commissioner Calton, does that sound good to you? All right. Without objection, that concludes our work session. Next portion is announcements. I have a small announcement I'll make after everyone else does. Anyone else? Anyone seek recognition for announcements? Please.
Yeah, I'm on. I handed some of these out. I saw Dwight first. I really thought he'd been around long enough to have been here in 2005, but he hadn't hardly made that. Sam Jones possibly was around, but it's an interesting document, and I'm taking credit for it because we did a lot of work in 2005 getting this, trying to better explain what Sullivan County government was spending its money for, why people pay taxes in the city, really, quietly saying that, and why they pay it to the county. There's a section in there that says if the county did not exist, the city would have to come up with certain services, such as an election commission, court system, things like that. Just trying to clarify where money goes to, money that goes directly to the cities, money that is shared, and money that is strictly for education shown in there. Education is a big factor. Where our revenues are coming from, sales tax in 2005. Now, the thought is ultimately try to get a current document with a lot of the same data in it and show how it's grown and moved along. If you look at the assessments, how they have changed from each locale as well as its classification. I there's a real interesting change there that's taking place, not just in Sullivan County, but across the state of Tennessee. Residents in rural part of the county, a lot more taxpayers there than there are within the cities. And a lot more dollars now are coming from that because of the reappraisal program, which is painful, but that's how it's moving. And hearing reappraisal people talk statewide, it is a big factor in what's taking place in the state. That reappraisal, that went in every county, and most every county has had that to happen to it. I was talking to a friend of mine in Blount County the other day. He said Blount County was truly a red county, but said, we don't really know now, it's changing so much in population of people moving in from California, what is here? And that is a factor across the state of Tennessee. Blount is a pretty progressive county, and this fellow used to be budget director down there and used to work for me. And he's in business now, doing a lot better. But he was talking about how the government has changed. It has really changed from 20 years ago when he was in it. And this booklet helps explain some of that, or allows you to look and see how the changes have taken place. If you look at the companies that are listed as largest employers back then, and largest taxpayers, a lot of those, I'd say some people in this room have never heard of them. It's back in history. But it tells you how we've changed. Some is good and some is bad. That's what this was about, trying to let you reflect on this and see where we've come from. Hopefully if we can get something worked up, where we've moved from 20 years ago up till now. And there's a lot of similarities and a lot of things are totally different. And hopefully you've got some interest in this, and I've got enough in here for everybody tonight. And you may have some suggestions of what might be worked into this. There's things now that we don't think about. We had a diabetes program, very active one back in 2005. We were looking at it's not in here, but we were studying whether or not we want to go into having a clinic for our employees. And I can tell you that we did a lot of work, and I met one time with Dwight and his wife for dinner and talked about it because she worked in the wellness program at the med center. And trying to figure out one of the big things about that, we don't have one, is because our employees are so, and where they're actually working, they're both ends of the county. It was a little bit difficult to try to bring one together. But there's a lot of things over the years that have happened moving this county. And some of that was trying to get a little bit of interest in where we've been and maybe where we're going. And I've got plenty up here, big bundles. Another one, I thought there'd be more people here that Sam Jones was around back in those days, probably.
Sam was on. He was on that. He was on the, he said in here, he was on the budget committee.
Yeah. So, interesting to see how that has changed. So, got any questions on it? We'll try to get you an updated version, put a picture of Herschel on the front.
It ain't changed, Sam's still on there.
Anyone else seek recognition? Now, don't throw tomatoes at me. This is going to be just an opinion, me seeking an opinion. Everybody, yeah. Last month we had our meeting on our work session on Thursday, and our commission meeting fell on the following Monday. How'd y'all like that? You didn't? Didn't care much for it? Overwhelming consensus. How about over here? Anybody like it? Indifferent? Not enough to revisit? Okay. I wish everything was that easy in my world to resolve. I kind of liked it. I just wanted to see, because we used to meet on Thursday nights work sessions, then we had the following Monday morning. But I kind of liked I kind of enjoyed that quick turnaround. I was just going to see what y'all thought about it. Now that was all I was doing. I just want to get a little pulse and see what you thought about it. Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Anyone else seek recognition? Motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Stand adjourned Thursday next. Thank y'all very much.
Didn't have time to change, be on time, like this.